Welcome to Women Economic Forum 2016. Now we are about to start our second session, which is Rising to the Occasion of Who You Really Are, the Journey to the Self. And we have two speakers here, one lead speaker, Abby McDonald, and another speaker, Miss Mary White. So I would like to invite first Abby McDonald. Please, ma'am, come up.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How's everybody doing this morning? Good? You're not jet lagged? Lingering for like 4 days? I'm still am. I arrived on Thursday and I've met so many incredible people and the energy and just adjusting to this jet lag and so on and so forth. But I must say this is an incredible event. I'm meeting women from all over the globe, amazing women, different phases in their businesses. And I'm just really happy and honored to be here. So thank you. Thank you for coming here and giving me your time to listen to what I have to share. And what I'm about to share is very heartfelt and heart-based. And I want you to loosen up and pretend you're in a room with girlfriends, having a conversation just heart to heart, okay? Because what I intend to do with this talk is to get you to examine yourself and ask yourself certain questions that are going to ignite some sort of question in terms of who you really are as a person in your life, whether it be in your business or your career. Okay? So my name is Abby McDonald, as he shared. I am the founder of talkwithabby.com. I am a life coach, a women's empowerment coach, as well as an inspirational speaker. I write for several women's empowerment magazines and blogs. You'll see my advice columns. And, you know, I'm a very introspective person. I, love to observe myself, first of all, as well as, question life. Like, what is this life really all about? Who am I, and what am I here to do? And throughout this convention, I've been having some individual one-on-one conversations with some ladies that I met. I met a wonderful woman. I believe she won an award, a South African businesswoman who built this incredible empire on her own. And she was sharing some of her life and how she became who she was. And it was absolutely incredible. And then I met another woman from, I believe, Abu Dhabi, another woman who's a champion for women business owners to help them build their businesses from home. And, I was just taking it all in and listening to them, having a heart-to-heart conversation. And I walked away reflecting in my room two things that came to my mind, two similarities, a common thread that all of us women have here and why we're here today and why we cross the globe to be here. And that is, we all want to be of greater service in whatever it is that we do. We all want to be of greater service. And the second thing that I came to the conclusion is that we all want to be our highest selves and live our truth. Okay? I've been to a few talks and it's a constant theme that is going on. It's like we want to break free. We feel that we're designed for more, that we're created for more. We want to give back in a greater way. So we come here as a sisterhood with this common thread and this desire to make an impact. So what I want to do is I want to sort of stimulate internal revolution within you so that you can become the witness of yourself and ask yourself thought-provoking questions that will help you unearth your true essence. Because when a woman is operating from her core, from her authentic self, what you're going to find is everything that you do is going to flourish in life because you're in alignment with your divinity, you're in alignment with what you're here to do in this life, and you're going to invite more flow in your life, more grace in your life. You're going to wake up passionate, excited, and feel like your life has a meaning and you're actually making a contribution. And that really is the way to fulfillment. And for myself, I came to my own realization that 3 years ago that I was not living my truth. I just wasn't. I was a very high strung businesswoman. I lived the Sex in the City lifestyle, on the go, dressed very beautifully, but very unhappy inside, sad, depressed. I'm an entrepreneur. I built an executive search company from the ground up, which I was very passionate about. But I felt there was something missing, and I did this for 6 years. And the realization is that I felt that I found that I was more interested in the personal lives, whether it be the clients or the candidates that I was placing. And I started getting a reputation of Dear Abby, because from CEOs to warehouse shippers, receivers, or anyone, they just let their hair down with me. They just let it out. And I felt that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So my whole world fell apart because that's what happens when you're going through a transition, when you're going through a transition and when change is on the horizon, right? And so what happened was my business, it started struggling because I didn't have the passion. My heart was no longer in it. I started reflecting on my relationships. That wasn't working out. And I just actually went through my own spiritual transformation where I started becoming more introspective and actually had a few divine experiences where it was revealed to me through a vision that I was meant to empower and speak to women. Through that, through osmosis, I was able to meet my guru in Toronto, and through some workshops that I was conducting out of my home for some women that I call the heart detox. And a year later, after the heart detox workshops that I ran, I began writing a blog, and these messages would start flowing, inspirational messages. And one of the ladies that attended said, I read your blog all the time. And where are you getting this information? I said, it's not from books. It just flows to me. And she said, I feel that I need to introduce you to my guru because it sounds very similar to the teachings that he's sharing with us. Now, I come from a traditional Christian background, and the teachings of Eastern philosophy was foreign to me, but yet I had a very core understanding. I guess my spirit was very familiar to it. So I had this incredible encounter, and it was revealed through my divine teacher of what I was meant to do to empower women. And that started my journey. So with that, I woke up with this renewed sense of purpose and finally actually felt comfortable in my own skin. And I made some changes because when you go through these shifts, you make change. You make changes. And I decided and made a decision, like this young lady said at her seminar about the importance of making a decision, that this is the direction that my life is headed. So immediately I started conducting workshops, started speaking, getting myself out there, writing articles for magazines, articles, and everything started to flourish. Everything came together. And it's amazing when you're in the flow of what you're meant to do. I have never experienced so much ease and grace. When I ran my executive search business, I was high strung. I was pushing and forcing to make things happen. And although it served a purpose, and it was, I guess, a platform to taking me to the next phase in my life, it still wasn't who I really it was. So what I'm about to share with you are 3 questions that I want you to think about. Feel free to write them down that you may ask yourself, because I want to take you on your mini journey and to ask yourself these questions so that you can, determine if you too are living your highest truth, whether it be in your businesses, in your career, or in your life. Okay? And the first question that I want to ask you, that you can ask yourself daily, and it's very, very profound, but very simple, is who am I being in this moment? Who am I being in this moment? And you ask yourself this question anytime you have a sort of emotional trigger of some sort, an argument with your spouse, with your friends. I'm using an example. I'll give you an example. The other day, I was talking to my father, and we were just communicating about something, weren't seeing eye to eye. Now, don't get me wrong, we have a wonderful relationship, but we just had that moment. We have those little tiffs once in a while. And just for a moment, in that split second of awareness, my reaction response to him, I realized, my God, I sound like my father. I sound like my father. This isn't me. How many times have you gotten in a situation where you're like, oh my God, I sound like my mother? How many of you have ever? Okay, there you go. There you go. So, in that moment of awareness, that is not who you are. Something as simple as that is not who you are. It is a learned behavior that has become a pattern and a habit in your life, right? So, just by that, you realize that, my God, I've picked up habits that aren't who I really am. So, who am I? Reverse that now. How would the real me react in that situation if I wasn't influenced by my parents? Who would I really be, right? So you don't have to have the answer obviously right away, but as you can tell, it starts to get you to stimulate this interesting, that's not me, right? Now, the second question that you can ask yourself in any given moment is, in whatever it is that you're doing, whatever project you take on, whatever any interaction that you have with someone, is, am I living or speaking my highest truth in this moment? Okay? I like to be very practical, so I'm going to give you an example. Someone gives you an invitation. Someone gives you an invitation to an event. You've had a long day, you're tired, you're exhausted. You're just not feeling like going out. This woman, I think, brought this up in another room, and I thought this is very relevant. A lot of people experience this. I think it was you. You look very familiar. Oh, it wasn't you. Okay, well, it's your sister. So, so in that moment, what would you do in that situation? So I'm your friend. I'm going to talk to someone here. How about Leanne? Leanne, you know what? Let's go to this ball. There's going to be a lot of cool people there. Would you like to attend? Now, I want you to think you're tired. You've had an exhausted day. Well, I already know what the answer would be because I know Leanne. But what would your answer be to that question? When you're not really feeling like attending, what would you do? Wonderful, right? Okay, so she's clear. Now, Leanne is an exception.